Expert Guide, Custom Credit Management Logic. Scenario: apply credit block only for certain customers or order types. Target audience: senior SAPSD consultants, solution architects. System context: SAP ECC, Classic Credit, and SAPS or 4 HANA, FSCM. Word count target: 3,000 words. Part 1. The business context and consultant mindset. 1. The anatomy of the requirement. In standard SAP, credit management is typically a blanket policy. You assign a credit control area, CCA, to a company code, and you assign a risk category to a customer. If the customer exceeds their limit or has overdue items, they get blocked. However, real-world business is rarely that binary. A typical complicated change request looks like this. Greater than we want to track credit exposure for ALL customers to see how much they buy. However, we only want the system to actually block the sales order if the customer belongs to the high-risk group, and the order type is standard order. Urgent orders or government customers should never be blocked, even if they owe us millions. 1. 2. The gap in standard configuration. Standard SAPTOP50 Automatic Credit Control allows you to define checks based on 1. Credit control area. 2. Risk category from customer master. 3. Credit group from sales document type. Why standard config fails here? You can configure the system to not check credit for specific order types by turning off the check in VOV8. However, the requirement often involves a combination of variables that standard configuration cannot handle simultaneously. Example: if order type equals ZOR and customer group equals 99 and division equals 10. To solve this, we must step out of the IMG, SPIR-O, and into ABAP logic, user exits, routines, and bad eyes. Part 2. Architecture of the credit check. Before writing logic, you must visualize where the intervention happens. 2. 1. The gatekeeper concept. In SAP, the credit check is triggered at specific points: order entry, delivery creation, and goods issue. For this guide, we focus on order entry, sales order save. The flow of logic is: 1. User hits save. 2. System checks VOV8. Is check credit active for this doc type? 3. System checks OVAK. Is an automatic credit control assigned? 4. System enters OVA8 settings. 5. The intervention point. The system checks requirements, NOFM, or user exits. This is where we inject our custom logic. 6. If the logic returns true, the mathematical credit check runs. 7. If the math fails, limit exceeded. The status VBUKCMGST is set to be blocked. Part 3. Solution strategy, the matrix table. Pro tip for hands-on experts: never hardcode values in your logic. If you write code that says IFVBAK-AORT equals ZOR, you will be doing support work for the rest of your life every time the business adds a new order type. 3. Step 1. Create a custom control table, Z-table. Before touching any code, design a configuration table to hold the business rules. Table name: ZSDCREDITRULES. Maintenance view: yes, SM30. Field data element description key: MAN-DT, MAN-D client yes. VKORG, VKORG, sales org. Yes. AUART, AUART, order type yes. KDGRP, KDGRP, customer group, yes. BLOCKACTIVECHAR1X, equals block, equals no block, no. Usage: the business can now maintain VKORG 1000, AUART, ZOR, KDGRP 01, BLOCKACTIVEX, VKORG 1000, AUART, ZFD, KDGRP 01, BLOCKACTIVE, empty. Your logic will simply read this table. If it finds an entry with X, it proceeds to the credit check. If not, it bypasses it. Part 4. Implementation Solution A. Classic SAP ECC. If your client is on ECC 6, 0 or S or 4, HANA, without FSCM activated, you use VOFM requirements. 4. 1. Understanding VOFM. Requirement routines. Transaction, VOFM, is the repository for formulas and requirements. We need a credit check requirement. 1. Go to T-code, VOFM. 2. Menu, requirements, credit checks. 3. You will see standard routines, example. 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2. 4. Action. Request a developer key to create a new routine, example. 901. 4. 2. The logic, functional spec for routine 901. Objective, the routine must determine if the credit check should execute. Return code SY-SOBRC equals 0, perform check. Return code SY-SOBRC equals 4, skip check. Pseudocode logic ABAP. Form KREDITPRUEFUNG 901. Business logic. Apply block only based on ZSDCREDITRULES table. Form KREDITPRUEFUNG 901. Data, LV block flag type char1. Data, LSKNA1 type KNA1. Default, do not check credit, assume innocent until proven guilty. SYAK sub RC equals 4. 1. Check if the credit control area requires a check. Check T691 fcret NE space. If config says no check, exit immediately. 2. Fetch customer details. Customer group is in KNVV or KNA1. Note: in sales order processing, header data is in global structure VBAK, and customer master data is often prefetched in KNA1 or KUAGV. Select single KDGRP from KNVV into @data LVKDGRP, where CUNR equals at VBAK CUNR, and VK.org equals at VBAKVT.org, and VTWEG equals at VBAKVTWEG, and SPART equals at VBAK SPART. 3. Check the Z-table matrix. Select single block active from ZSD credit rules into LV block flag, where VK.org equals VBAK-VK.org, and AUART equals VBAK-ECART, and KDGRP equals LVKDGRP. 4. Decision logic. IF SOI sum dash equals 0, and LV block flag equals X. Sum dash equals 0. Trigger the credit check. Else, SI break equals 4. Bypass the credit check. NDIF end form. 4. 3. Assigning the routine. Once the code is active, 1. Go to OVA8, Automatic Credit Control. 2. Select the combination CCA or Risk Catter Credit Group. 3. In the No Credit Check field, or Specific Check Requirements, assign 901. Note, in OVA8, there is a field specifically for requirement. If you assign 901 there, the system runs this logic before checking the limit. Part 5. Implementation Solution B SAPS or for HANA FSCM. If the client uses SAP Credit Management FSCM, the logic moves out of SD OVA8 and into the FSCM BADIs. The SD module sends the order value to FSCM, and FSCM returns the result, approved or blocked. 5. 1. The architecture shift. In SR4 HANA, the check is a service call. SD calls UKM COMMUNICATIONINT. We need to intercept this call, or intercept the check logic inside FSCM. the best body for this, UKMR 3ACT IVATE, or BADI SDCM. However, to keep the logic SD-centric, preventing the call entirely, we use the SD side BADI. BADI name, BADI-SDCM. Method, FSCM CR EDI TCH ECKORDER. 5. 2. The logic, functional spec for BADI. Method, FSCM CR EDI TCH ECKORDER. Parameters, ISVBAK, Sales Document Header. ITVBAP, Items, CVCHECKCREDIT, Changing Parameter, Boolean. Logic, ABAP. Method, IFEXBAD ISDCM FSCM Credit Check Order. Structure to hold Z-table data. Data, LV block active, type char 1. Data, LVKDGRP, type KDGRP. 1. Retrieve customer group, optimize by reading buffer if possible. Select single KDGRP from KNVV into LVKDGRP, where kunar equals ISVBAK kunar, and vk.org equals isvbakvk.vk.org, and vtweg equals isvbakvtweg, and spart equals isvbakk-spart. 2. Check Z-table. Select single block active from ZSD credit rules into LV block active, where vk.org equals isvbak-vk.org, and awart equals isvbakkkkk equals lvkdgrp. 3. Control the check. IFLV block active equals X. CV check credit equals EBAP true. Go ahead, check them, and potentially block. Else, CV check credit equals EBAP false. Do not check. Auto approve. End IF. End method. Part 6. Complex variations and gotchas. A real expert anticipates where the solution will break. Here are the complexities you must handle in your documentation and logic. 6. 1. The update versus check dilemma. Crucial concept. There is a difference between updating exposure and performing a check. Requirement, we want to see the exposure in the credit report, but we don't want the order blocked. The problem with the solutions above, if you skip the check, SYSCRC equals 4 or CVCHECKCREDIT equals false. The system might also skip updating the credit exposure tables, S066 or S067 in Classic, UKM in FSCM. The expert fix: instead of skipping the check entirely, you perform the check but manipulate the result. Logic modification. User exit. LVK MPFZ 1 or OVA 8. Routine. 1. Allow the credit check to run. Standard SAP math. 2. If the result is block, CMGST equals B, trigger a secondary check. 3. Check ZSD CREDIT RULES. 4. If the Z-table says no block, force the status to A, approved. User exit. USERCREDITCHECK2 inside LVKMPFZ1. This exit runs after the standard checks but before the final status is set. ABAP. Inside USERCREDITCHECK2. IF credit status equals B. System wants to block. Check our custom whitelist. IFVBAK Tacha ORART equals ZVIP. Credit status equals A. Force approval. XRC equals 0. Reset return code. NDIF. NDIF. This ensures the value is added to their credit usage, but the order is not stopped. 6. 2. Handling split criteria. Header versus item. What if the logic depends on the item category? Example, block the order if they buy hardware, but don't block if they buy service. Credit checks are primarily header-level checks. If one item triggers a block, the whole document is blocked. Expert approach. You must loop through XVBAK, header, and XVBAP, items, in the user exit. If all items are service, based on item category PSTY, you bypass the block. Part 7. Step-by-step configuration and testing guide. This section is your runbook for the project. 7. 1 Configuration steps, OVA8. Even with custom logic, basic OVA8 must be correct. 1. Define credit control area, enterprise structure. 2. Define risk categories, high, medium, low. VIP. 3. Define credit groups, O1, order. O2, delivery. 4. Automatic credit control, OVA8. Set static check, check for credit limit. Reaction, C. Warning, plus value of missing items, or D. Error. Status or block, checked. 5. Assign custom routine, in the no credit check field, requirement. Assign your routine, 901. 7. 2. The developer spec. What to give your ABA per. Don't just say write logic. Give them this structure, greater than functional spec ID, FSSDCR050. Greater than object, credit check requirement routine. Greater than trigger, sales order save, VA01, or VA02. Greater than inputs, sales area, order type, sold to party, net value. Greater than logic flow, greater than 1. Fetch customer group, from sold to. Greater than 2. Fetch payment term, ZTERM, from header, greater than 3. Consult table ZSTCREDITRULES, greater than 4. IF entry exists, and block flag equals X, greater than return, SY-SUBRC equals 0, proceed to check. Greater than 5. Else, greater than return SY-SUBRC equals 4, skip check. Greater than 7. 3 testing scenarios, the matrix. You cannot be an expert without a robust test plan. Create a spreadsheet with these scenarios: ID, order, type, customer group, express, result, reason. TC01 XOR, standard O1, risky, block matches Z-table rule. TC02 XOR, standard O2, safe, pass customer group not flagged. TC03 ZFD, free, O1, risky, pass order type not flagged. TC04 XOR O1 block negative test, ensure limit is actually exceeded. TC05 XOR O1 pass positive test, limit not exceeded, standard check passes. Part 8. Troubleshooting and debugging. When it doesn't work and it won't the first time. Here is how you fix it. 8. 1. How to debug a credit check. Credit checks are notoriously hard to debug because they often happen in update tasks or complex subroutine calls. 1. Activate debugger, or H in VA01 before saving. 2. Breakpoints. Classic. Program SAPLVKMP, include LVKMPFZ1. Set a breakpoint in USERCREDITCHECK 1 or 2. VOFM. Go to VOFM. Open your routine 901. Set a breakpoint inside the code. FSCM. Set breakpoint in class CLUKMFACADE or your BODI implementation. 3. Watch variables, VBUKCMGST, the Holy Grail. If this is B, you are blocked. VBAKAMTBL, the released credit value. 8. 2 common error, the order is blocked but I turned off the check. Root cause: the check might be turned off for the new value, but the customer might be blocked due to oldest open items or dunning level. Fix: in OVA8, ensure you are looking at the correct combination. If you disable the static check via code, but oldest open item check is still active and standard, the block will persist. Your custom logic must bypass L checks if that is the intent. To do this, ensure your VOFM routine is assigned to every active check type in OVA8, static, dynamic, oldest open item, etc., or use the no credit check routine at the very top of the OVA8 settings. Part 9. Advanced Considerations, Performance and Maintenance. 9. 1. Performance. Credit checks happen at the critical moment of save. Bad code here freezes the system. Avoid: select from tables like VBAP or BSID. Do: use specific select single logic on indexed fields, KUNNR. Buffering: if your ZSDCREDITRULES table is small, turn on full buffering in SE11. This prevents a database hit for every single sales order. 9. 2. Reorganization, V28 or F28. If you change the logic, example, add a new order type to the Z table, existing blocked orders will not automatically update. You must run credit reorganization, T-code F28, or program RVKRED77. This program rereads all documents and reapplies the current credit logic. Warning: this is a heavy job. Run it on weekends or off-peak hours. Part 10. Summary Consultant Toolkit. To handle this complicated change request, you have moved through these phases. 1. Requirement analysis. Identified that standard OVA8 is insufficient for the selective block logic. 2. Solution design. Created a matrix table, ZSDCREDITRULES, to make the solution dynamic and maintainable. 3. Technical selection. Used VOFM routine 901 ECC to bypass checks. Used BADISDCM-S or 4 to control FSCM calls. Used user exit LVK-MPFC1 to update exposure without blocking. 4. Testing. Verified via specific negative and positive test cases.